Alrighty, this video we are back over here on the old 5 horsepower Briggs Stratton motor that I had on that old wood chipper I have. If you remember, if you went back through on my videos, the wood chipper videos, this is the motor that's on it. And I was having a little backstory. I had taken this out to my in-laws to run and help them with clearing out an electric fence line. We were running this through to go ahead and get rid of some of the smaller stuff. And after about 30 minutes of this running, I noticed that it started acting up a little bit. So I shut it down immediately and let it cool down. Later on, I checked the oil, and it was actually dangerously low. So I'm hoping I didn't mess anything up inside the motor on the cylinder head or anything. But I did notice that I have a terrible oil leak around this casing gasket, along with this shaft seal. So I was able to go out to one of our local small motor shops here in town, and Lynn's air-cooled motors, if anyone's wanting to know. Went out there and ordered some of that gasket. Gasket's in here, and the shaft seal. It's a lot like the bearing seals on your vehicles, the ones that will go around the shafts. It's a lot like those. So it's just right back. This is actually the inside. This is where the blades hook onto, and the housing for it and everything. This is where all the action's at. So I'm going to show you guys. Take this on apart and replace it. I also have this gasket maker stuff I'm going to use on the actual gasket itself. And I'm also going to use this on the carburetor later. I'm going to go ahead and take the tank off and use it at the base of the carburetor, between the tank and the carburetor, because I wasn't able to do that last time I was working on it. So since I got it apart now, I'm going to go ahead and do it. But with this, you're just going to be needing, so far anyways, just a 1/2-inch socket, and it should be all that's needed. And then you'll have to, of course, be able to press out that seal and everything. But let's go ahead and get this thing going. Oh no, sorry, not 1/2-inch, sorry, 3/8. 3/8 socket, not 1/2-inch. I misspoke. I did also go ahead and drain all of the oil out of this, or at least a very big part of it. So, I'm not terribly worried about a whole lot of oil coming out of this. I also went ahead and took it to the car wash and power wash this just real quick. Just enough to get all of that crap off of there. That was all that oil and dust built up. Come on, how do you come off there? Just a little bit of influence. There. Just a little tappity tap around the housing. Yeah, whenever you're doing this, you always want to make sure that nothing's going to come out and surprise you and fall out. Let's go ahead and get this oil cleaned up. On out of here. Having it run off of brand spanking new oil. And clean oil too. Yeah, it was all laid up. I don't know how much of that it caught. I don't know what the deal is, but I got the gasket seal on there. I got the gasket itself on. I'm getting ready to put it all. Oh, and now I also have the seal here on there as well. I replaced it. So we're going back on. Wee bit of oil lubed on this. And away it just slides right on. There we go. Alright. Get all this stuff back on and tightened up. Alright, so quick and simple fix. I've got to let this set for the next 24 to 48 hours before I do anything to it. No oil in it, no nothing. I got to let that stuff set up. So I'll be putting it all back together throughout the rest of this next week. And I'll get it up and going and everything finally. And in the process, though, at the end of it all, it's going to be not having any more leaks or anything. Shouldn't, anyways. That's one thing you get for dealing with older equipment. You find after you run them for a while, you wind up finding more things wrong with it, or just simple wear and tear. I'm just trying to keep from having to replace this motor, because that's a $200 motor I would have to replace. But parts for this particular motor, this little 5-horse Briggs, is getting kind of hard to find. At least brand new parts, anyways. They're getting hard to find. Like the fuel tanks, I was talking to the guy there at Lynn's, that the fuel tank, I'd be very, very lucky to find that particular fuel tank, is what he was saying. I haven't looked into it myself. From what I understand, is that it is hard to find. 'Cause I couldn't even find the right seals or anything online myself. That's why I went ahead and went through him, because I'm sure he would have been able to find out for me. So I'll probably end up doing a video of it before long. Actually show it up and running. And I just realized I've got to put that oil dipstick back on. But I'll get to that. But I'll go ahead and jump up there, back up to the house, and go ahead and do a video verse. So yeah, now the gasket and everything, and doing stuff like this with just little stuff. I mean, if you're just learning how to do these kinds of things, always keep an open mind and always be willing to learn something new. Every time you go to do something like this, always keep an open mind. Just do what is obvious, and then what doesn't seem to work out right, try something a little bit different, or look and see what may has to be done with it. At least that's the way I do things. Like with my wife's car, of all things, I'm used to working on older vehicles from 90s and older. And my wife's car is about 10 years older, 10 to 15 years newer than my truck. And I'm not used to working on these newer vehicles, let alone front-wheel drive vehicles. And I'm always learning how to do new stuff on it. So my hair is a mess. But I'm always learning how to work on things with that. Like I said, I've never worked on a newer vehicle before, not like that anyways. So I just go with what I already know and apply it. But on stuff like this, he just likes to do what is obvious, take apart what is obvious, and then go from there. Primarily just looking at things and be able to take it apart in your mind. So the video verse this one is in Luke chapter 6, 12 through 16. And this is where he picks out his apostles out of his disciples. It says, one day soon afterward, Jesus went up on a mountain to pray, and he prayed to God all night. At daybreak, he called together all of his disciples and chose 12 of them to be apostles. And here are their names: Simon, who he named Peter; Andrew, Peter's brother; James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus; Simon, who was called the Zealot; Judas, son of James; and Judas Iscariot, who later betrayed him. And I will see you in the next one.